So let's jump into our next call. Let's talk to Tim. Tim is calling in from Texas, and they have called in before to talk about dreams. Tim, what would you like to talk about today?
Last time I called in, I said I had three dreams. Three dreams that are so real you confuse them with reality.
Oh yeah,
And these are
had those.
actually my own personal dreams that I like to share with you guys. I called in it was a while back to tell one, and now I'm calling in to tell a second one.
All right, can you do it in 2 minutes, just like Christy just did on that huge topic that I made him recap in 2 minutes?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
So this story starts out, I'm probably like 12 years old. My mom and my grandma are in the kitchen, and I am currently awake at this point, but it is late. My mom tells me it's time for me to go to bed, so I go off into my room, and I go, for whatever reason, I don't close my door. And my room is kind of a mess. It was like I kind of started cleaning it, and I kind of started vacuuming, and then I put the vacuum down, forgot about it. Now it's just laying in the middle of the floor. But whatever. I climb over that, and I lay down in my bed. And what feels like not even 5 minutes later, I just hear this voice, help me. And I get up from my bed and I start looking around, and I can still hear my mom and my grandma in the kitchen, and they're playing cards, and I can still hear them talking. And I'm looking around my room, and okay, I guess maybe I just thought that, I don't know. So I laid back down, and again, it was like not even 5 minutes later, I hear it again, help, help. And so I get back up again. I'm looking around, but I'm still hearing the voice. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm slowly getting out of bed, kind of walking around the room, trying to figure out where the voice is coming from. And I have this like drawer type deal. It has like a closet kind of where you can put clothes. I don't know how to explain it really, but I hear the voice coming from that closet. And so I go and I open up the door slowly, and I look in, and there's Chucky standing there with a knife, and he's looking at me, and he says, I get you now. And he goes to jump on me. I turn around, I go to scream. I cannot scream for the life of me. I go to run, and I trip over the vacuum, and now I'm trying to claw my way to the open door. I turn around, Chucky's now clawing his way up my legs, and that's about when I wake up, and I'm in my bed, and I'm looking around, and I can still hear my mom and my grandma in the kitchen playing cards. And I'm looking around. Okay, that was just a dream. It's just a dream. And then I go back to sleep. But I tell you what, I goddamn tell you, I felt like that was real.
So the point of your story is that everything that you just depicted felt more real than real. It was like you could physically feel this Chucky clawing at your leg and all of that. I think, is that what you're saying? I think we've all had that experience one way or another, right? I used to have dreams. I won't say what it was like, but it was me basically being at work still. Like I would go to bed, and I would be really tired. I had a long week. It's like Friday night or whatever, and I'd go to sleep, and I swear for 9 hours or whatever, however much I slept in for the next day, the whole time I was still working, and I woke up and I felt like I had no rest. And like I had like these very vivid memories about working even though I was sleeping, and I remember feeling like really ripped off because that was supposed to be my sleep, but here I was working.
In high school I had that issue. Like I remember waking up just like pissed that I wasn't on the clock.
And I mean, I've had other experiences where I've been in bed and I roll one way and then I roll the next way, and it's like when I rolled this way it was nighttime, when I rolled that way it was the morning. I didn't have any dreams, and I felt again like I had no sleep. I think everybody has weird stories about dreaming. I have lots of stories about, like, kind of because of the framework, again, that I was raised in, stories of having, like, demons on my chest, and, like, I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't speak, and I had to, like, somehow say the name of Jesus, but I couldn't because obviously I'm asleep. So being stuck in, like, this mode of just terror for, like, however long that lasted. Everybody's got stories. I think my understanding is just that, I mean, our minds, like, there's a spectrum, basically. It's not like you're awake and you're asleep. There's a spectrum of,
Sure.
being
Yeah.
awake and being fully asleep. And throughout the night, even, you kind of transfer along this spectrum. And I think a lot of these stories happen for people while they're kind of transitioning into that sleep, right? So they're somewhere on that spectrum, not fully awake, not fully asleep. They're somewhere in the middle. And I even had mentioned earlier that I kind of played with that spectrum idea for a while, tried to like get into lucid dreaming, and I've had many lucid dreams, and those are weird. So I think it's not so much of like an on-off thing, and we can have these things where, your senses are engaged. I mean, like think about even like where we're going with virtual reality and things like that. Like there are ways that your mind can be kind of tricked into believing that something's very real, and you can have the sensation that you're about to fall off of a cliff and things like that. So I mean, I don't think there's much else there to really explore unless you have something else you want to talk about. Other than the brain is super weird, and we don't always have a clear turn on off point when we're falling asleep, as evident by everyone's stories they have like that.
Co-signed. Yeah, I'm on board. How does that land with you, Tim?
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, the
I have
Chucky
lots of
thing's
dreams
terrifying.
where I'm in high school, or I'm in high school and I'm just like, well, what's my schedule again? Oh crap, I don't remember my schedule. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to call in to tell you that one, and I'll call in again sometime in the near future with the next,
All right.
the last one.
Well,
So
all right. So we'll be waiting in anticipation for the third and final dream. And thank you for calling in. We'll talk to you again.
Yeah, take care.
thank you guys.
Bye.
Yeah,
And you know what's weird about my brain is because you brought up Chucky. I might have a dream about Chucky tonight.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you were
Right?
talking about priming.
Yeah.
Just to agree with you said about sort of, I guess, the spectrum of sleep. I think, we could think about sleep as a handful of processes. There are so many different sort of switches that are getting flipped, and they aren't always all flipped in the right order or at the
Yes.
right time. And I know, again, we're oversimplifying, but like that sleep paralysis experience and some of those things come from being not just like 50% asleep, but maybe like asleep, and then, oh no, your brain forgot to flip that one particular switch around. Like maybe your body is asleep and unable to move, but your mind is awake. It can be kind of scary space.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's things I've discovered even like now. I used to have that a lot, and I think some people are more prone to that, like the sleep paralysis thing. You'll talk to certain individuals and they'll have like horror stories about going through that every night of their lives.
Yeah.
Like, as I would say that happened to me several times a year. It was enough that I have like a pretty clear, like when I think about it, it was really scary. And especially because of my framework, because of my priming, to me, it was absolutely demons,
Yeah.
For other people in different cultures or different religious like kind of backgrounds, it might be something totally different. But the thing
Isn't
is
that remarkable?
similar.
Whether we see like a Renaissance demon
Yeah,
or
it could
like
be a fairy or
djinn
something,
or a
right?
fae or
Yeah. So, but I mean, again, we're talking about this like this common human experience that we have. So I think the thing that we know about this whole thing is that your brain does kind of weird things as it's falling asleep. And sometimes it's like freaky and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.